Okay, now on to the next question. Milan, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So I also want to talk about the future, but from another perspective, from the angle of education, jobs, the future of work. We see that the labor market is changing rapidly, and it needs to make sure that young people, they know what is going to happen, they know what is going to change. So we need to make sure that they have the right skills for the jobs of the future. So what is the EU doing at the moment to make sure that young people have these right skills, and how can we make sure that young people will have great jobs also in the future?
Well, it's indeed so. Jobs are changing a lot. The jobs of today are maybe not existing anymore in 10 years. I think that's also what we have seen in the past. So it will happen in the future also. So I think what Europe is doing a lot is investing in innovation. I think that's a very important thing. Also pushing forward more Erasmus. Me, myself, I went to Madrid to have studies, to open up your eyes, to see the world. I think that's very important. We also push forward labor migration, that you can go and work in another country with the same social rights. I think that's very important because young people, and I myself, I feel like a young people, I also still like to go abroad, to look at other countries. When I was young, I really wanted to go and work everywhere. I mean, the world was really my country. And I think that's happening more and more. I think what Europe also pushed forward, I think the level of education. I think we can really be proud of the level of education we have in Europe, in the different member states. We have the Youth Guarantee Fund, which pushes forward member states to commit to help young people to find a good job. I think that's very important. We have to push forward the good skills, push forward innovation, also labor migration. I think that's the future. Don't look only to stay in your own town to have a good job. You can find it elsewhere. You can visit the world. I think that's very important. And that's Europe. We don't have borders anymore. So I think that's very important. So I really feel that Europe is our future. Okay. I don't know if it answers to your question, but I think young people have to look to other countries, look to other jobs. And we have to look forward and see which jobs will be good in the future, which job will not be there anymore. And that's very important as policymakers to look at that and to stimulate all the education, all the universities to invest in the new jobs. For example, when I was young, we didn't have mobility at university. Because mobility, we were driving, we were riding bikes. Now you have really university where you can study all about mobility, because that's a problem for the future. So I think environment, it will be a study of the future. I think like when we were young to study for dietists, it was very rare. Now everybody is busy with his body, with what we eat. So I think we have to look forward what will be needed in the future. And innovation, technology is therefore very important. And we have to do that on a local level also. I'm an elder woman of education in my hometown. And there we really invest already for very young people to look which skills they have, to give them more languages, even when they have 3-4 years old. I think that's very important, to invest in education from very young people.
Okay. Thanks, Ms. Waldman. At what cost, though? I think you had a follow-up question to ask Ms. Waldman in relation to the pressure that goes on youth.
Yes, indeed. It's true. It's very interesting what you said, and I do agree. But I think we also need to look at the aspect of mental health and mental well-being, because there's a lot of pressure in society as well. And I think we need to make sure that young people right now, but also when they will have a job, they need to make sure to have a good life and feel healthy. What do you think about that? What can the EU do about?
Well, what I think the EU should do is to push forward more on combating burnouts. I think burnout is a very, very big problem. We also see it with a lot of teachers in the schools. And then I think, how can you teach young people to find a job if you have a burnout? You can't give your passion when you don't feel good yourself. So I think tackling burnout is very important. Also suicide. I studied a lot and I did a lot of research on suicide with young people, because I really feel the pressure is very high. I saw young people around me when I was a teenager. I lost some friends by suicide, and I could not accept it. And so I think we should invest more to prevent suicide with young people. And I think mental health is very important. And it goes together also with climate, environment, nature in the world. So I think it's very important, yeah. So I will support you on that battle.
Thank you.